tomorrow morning is the first of the Feeder King qualifiers for myself this year. I've got 2 or 3 tickets to get a chance at trying to qualify for the £10,000 final. The venue is Southfield Reservoir, and it's an incredible bit of water. It's one that's become very, very well known over the last few years. It's a huge expanse of water. However, the venue is fishing very, very difficult. It's fishing so hard that just £7 won a recent 40 peg match. So we know there are going to be some blanks, we know it's going to be difficult. However, in a situation like that, you know that every single bite counts. And the beauty about this huge reservoir is that those few bites that we are actually going to need tomorrow could literally come from anywhere. The whole reservoir is the same depth. It's very, very shallow. Usually it's only 4 feet deep, but because of the local canal system, the water levels have been dropped to run some repairs actually on the canal itself. The reservoir is almost half its normal depth. So it's very shallow. We're expecting some blue skies, but it is going to be windy. Now, because of social distancing and the need to avoid any sort of gatherings and strict COVID guidelines, the draw has actually already been done. It was done tonight by match organiser Andy Renton live on Facebook. So already I'm sat here right now getting my kit ready, and I already know which peg I'm off to.
Right, 6 o'clock. Right, lads, going to do your draw for tomorrow's round 2 Feeder King. So, normal rules apply. Just have a look on post and you can see what's happening. No tattle on your peg before 8 o'clock. Fishing. Gate's going to be open 8, well, 8:30 if you haven't got a key. If you have got a key, then you're alright. Eddie Bryden's missus doing hot beef sandwiches. If anybody wants a sandwich, fetch into the peg like Eddie does, contact Eddie or Emma. And that's it. Fishing 10:45 till 4 o'clock, I believe. That's right. Right, we'll start your draw. Jamie Harrison, 55. Jamie Harrison, 55.
That peg is actually up in the top zone, and that is an area that I would always consider, when the venue is fishing normal, to be a very, very fair zone. There aren't any real hot spots there, and whenever this sort of a competition and Feeder Masters takes place on that venue, that top zone tends to be pretty fair. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to just finish off my kit. I'm going to retire for the evening, get a good night's sleep, and I'll see you in the morning.
Hi, what can I get for you?
Can I get 2 bacon roll meals, please, with brown sauce? Thank you. No, thank you. No problem, thank you. See you later. Well, it's a beautiful sunny day. It's not really going to help the fishing. All the lads are here nice and early. Morning.
Morning, Jamie.
They're all here. Waco's there, Joey Farrell's there. First job of the day though,
Yeah.
is the world famous Mr. Pickering, who's at the next peg. We've got to get him to sign the book. A lot of you may not know about the book yet. If you haven't, there's a link directly underneath this video to it.
And thanks to you for that.
No problem, look. Even getting it autographed for me.
I'm
How about
signing
that?
it, look at
Beautiful.
that.
top.
I hope it's a match plan for today because
Jamie, what you need to do, take it to your peg.
Yeah.
Right, and then you fall asleep and you'll have an hour's skip as well.
I'm hoping that's a match plan for today that he's writing in there because I've drawn the next peg to him. Well, we have got the bright sunshine, but we have got a wind on it. It's not very warm, I'll be honest with you. The way that it's fishing, it's going to be a bit of a lottery, I think, but this is as far as you can drive on this lane. Just to give you an idea of the new pegging, there's the res. Winds from right to left, but in slightly. Most of the lads are set up already, very, very keen. With the water levels being down, we can't really fish off the platforms at the moment, as you can see. So we're going to have to get the box comfortable on the rocks. Well, this is it, peg 55. As you can see, it's a long way off the water now. Lovely pegs. Bit high, a bit steep down there as well, but we'll have to get down there anyway so we can get comfy. Let's get set up. Well, it's about 20 minutes before the off now. I'm all set up. That wind's dropped a little bit. Tommy's got in comfortable. He's sitting on the platform instead of going right down, so he's facing that way today. I've got two rods set up, but to be fair, they're both on the same line. That wind's dropped a little bit. I thought the wind was going to get up, but turn around that way for the sun. It's going to be a one-line job, I think. Obviously, I can change that at any stage. Good thing about this venue is you can see left and right. I can see down that way and I can see that way, so you're going to get an idea of if there are any fish feeding. It's been fishing very, very hard, very random. Could be fishing for a bite initially. Obviously it might only take 2, 3, 4 fish to win the match, the whole match, but obviously we're here to qualify. So the initial thing is just to get a bite first. I'll show you the kit that I've got set up. Well, the first setup I've got is just a 12-foot rod. Like I said, I'm fishing 50 metres. This 12-foot rod will hit that range no problem whatsoever. That's just with a 4,000 reel. Really nice, simple setup. And then I've got a heavier version set up, which is this one. That's 13-foot rod, and that's just in case that wind does get up. I've got that fixed just with a nice helicopter rig. That's a 5,000 reel. And that'll just mean that if that wind does get up or it's a little bit tricky, I'll still be able to hit that same range. Venues like this are very susceptible to the wind and the weather. So, you know, as you can see, it's very open. That wind can get strong at times. 4-metre river nets in, usual side tray. The mix that I'm using today is a mixture of Ringer's Dark and Ringer's Natural, just mixed 50-50. I can play around with the consistency of that. And then I've just got a few maggots, a few pinkies, and as you'd expect, we are bream fishing. I've got about half a kilo of worm in there if they are going to want the worm. But like I say, initially it's all about just getting a bite.
Chucked it then. I thought I'd just draw in with wind. It went straight as an arrow.
Well, we're 1 hour in, it's not getting any warmer. Even when that sun's out, that wind's freezing cold. But you can probably tell the way I'm dressed, it's a really cold wind. I think that top jacket's going to be going on in a minute. We're an hour in, I haven't seen a single fish caught, not heard anybody that's even had a sign. I can almost see right the way down the bank there, and up to my right, nothing at all. Just no signs. I'm just trying a different hook bait on every single cast. That's all I can do. I've been having 30-minute casts, just going through the permutations of bait, you know, just trying to just pick one off if there's going to be any passing through the peg. But I'm still on that one spot at 55 metres, and I'm just going to stick on this and just see what happens up and down the bank. Looks like we've got a bit of grebe action down here. Everybody's looking down. We thought he'd actually got one. He's playing it nicely. The first bit of action we see, as soon as everyone saw his rod go over, you can imagine everybody thought somebody's been on one. Guess what? Well, it's one bit of action anyway. Hey! Well done, mate. Oh, it's like winter fishing. Well, we're just going up to 2 hours and we haven't seen a fish caught. Apart from the action with Nicky playing that grebe, that's the only rod bending action that we've seen. Tommy's facing that way and he hasn't seen any fish caught that way. And I'm facing that way and we haven't seen any fish caught down there whatsoever. The lads are obviously on the phones to each other, just speaking to each other up and down the bank, and nobody's reported that there's been any fish caught anywhere. I haven't seen a sign. I'm still at that 55 metre line. I have had a couple of casts literally just within pole range, just with an empty feeder, just to see if there's any small fish kicking about, any eels, anything like that, just to get an indication, but I haven't had a sign. There's one or two lads trying a shorter line as well, just to see if they can get a reaction, but there hasn't been any fish caught. So, you know, it's just doing what we're doing basically. The wind keeps coming and going, the sun's gone in again now. I'm just fishing that 55 metre line. Just got a 40 gram feeder on and it's just getting there easy. I can obviously unclip and go past that and go searching further out if need be, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm just going to stay on this one line, and if any fish do come in onto that little bit of better bait that I put in, then, you know, obviously I am going to be on that line when they come onto it, but I'll just see what pans out over the next hour or two. But like I say, it looks like there hasn't been a single fish caught yet, so just going to keep doing what I'm doing, pouring cups of coffee out, keep changing the hook bait, and I'm now on 30-minute casts. The thing is, when it's like this, it's, you know, it's just so critical that you're going to hook any sort of indication that you get, and this is why this sort of a match goes right to the wire. We knew this was going to go the full stretch today, so, you know, it's going to be right up until the last cast. Anything can happen, and quite often it does on this venue. You know, when it's fishing hard like this, one fish could win the zone when it's as hard as this, so that obviously that bite could be your very last cast. So I think we knew it was going to go right to the wire, but just got to keep going and going, and hopefully I'm going to get a pull. Well, we're now into the last 2 hours. I still haven't had a sign at all. Nobody here has even admitting to having had a bite. So we're all still in it. We've just heard that Mick Viles has lost a fish, lost a bream. He's way down there. He's down, I don't know if he's in the 30s. Right down there. Obviously 20 odd pegs down there. We've heard he's just lost a bream, which is terrible. You don't wish that upon anybody. And I've just heard that somewhere up here, I think peg 62 possibly, has just lost a skimmer at the net. So the only two fish we've heard about so far that's actually been hooked have both been lost, which is terrible. You know, imagine doing that on a match like this. So, but it has obviously highlighted that there's a couple of fish feeding, and there are a couple of fish out there somewhere. But yeah, we've just got to keep going. That's all we can do. That's the only thing we've heard so far. We haven't heard any other news from the Canal bank, if they've caught, but it sounds like they're the only two fish that have been hooked so far. So that's it. Dad's retired to the van. He's gone back there to get nice and warm. I obviously don't want to take my eye off this tip. I'm still on 30-minute casts. I'm still on that 55 metre line. I haven't unclipped yet, but that wind is really cold. The sun keeps going in, and when it does, it's really cold. So we've just got to keep going, just like we were at the beginning. We're fishing for our bite, but no one else is admitting to even have had some sort of a sign, not even a liner. So I've just got to keep going. You know, at the beginning, one fish was going to be important. As the day goes on like this, it's obviously highlighting that a fish is becoming increasingly more important. So just got to keep on going, and I'm going to stick what I'm doing for the next hour, and then I'll possibly think about unclipping and just going a little bit further just to try and pick up a fish. Well, we are just into the last 90 minutes, so there's an hour and a half left, and Andy Gregg, 5 pegs away, up there, 5 pegs away, has just had a fish. That's the only fish we've heard caught now. So whether that's a sign that one or two are going to feed late on. We know what this venue's like. I've fished on here and won matches on here with 3 fish in the last 3 casts, so it is going to go right to the wire. We're fishing till 4 o'clock, so that could be a sign that there's 1 or 2 going to feed now, we don't know. Or it could just be a lucky random fish, we don't know, but he's hooked it and landed it. So that's the only one caught that we know of. So there's 90 minutes left. I've unclipped now, I'm now at about 65 metres now. Just trying to pick up anything. But that's certainly given us a little bit of confidence that there might be one or two fish going to feed in this last period. Well, we've just heard that Eddie Bryden's caught and Glenn Lawrence as well has caught. I don't know if they've just got one apiece, but they're right down there, right where we're parked. I don't know what pegs they're going to be on, probably 30s, mid to late 30s possibly, somewhere there. And that's all we've heard. So there's a couple of fish caught down there. We just obviously there's just that one fish caught up at this top end. All us here, nobody's even had a sign, any sort of an indication or anything. There's 1 hour left, and as we know on this reservoir, certainly, well, in summer as well, but certainly in winter, and when it's like this, that last hour can be the best possible time for you to, you know, to stand the best chance of getting a fish or getting a bite. And you know, like I say, we'll run right the way through to 4 o'clock. So we're just sticking at what we're doing. It's the only thing we can do, and just hope we're going to get some sort of an appearance from a fish. Well, we're just coming into the last 30 minutes now. Absolutely nothing's changed, exactly the same. Nobody all the way through here has had any indications apart from Andy, 5 pegs to my right, who's got that one fish. We haven't heard any more about down to our left in the earlier numbers. We haven't heard anything at all. Nobody's had an indication. The sun's back out, it's tried raining, but quite often this last 30 minutes now is, you know, it's when you can completely transform, you know, your session. I've seen it so many times on here. You know, it can be as poor as this, and then within, you know, the last final 20 minutes you can look around and there might be 3 or 4 people playing fish. So that's what we're obviously hoping is going to happen. I'm now at 70 metres, just looking for a fish. I don't normally fish like this on here. Normally I like to stay clipped up and just build up that one area, key area of a spot where the fish might come in. But as you've obviously seen, we're after one bite, one fish, and I've just gone further now. I'm out there just trying to pick anything up. So I'm at 70 metres now. I've probably got 2 more casts. I'm going to have 2 more 15-minute casts until the end of the match, unless it obviously goes round within that period. So I'm just going to stick out there at 70 metres, and fingers crossed we're going to get a visit. That's it. Well, that's it. Not a sign. It looks like Andy's won this zone with 1 fish. So it's a 20 peg zone, 1 fish caught. Last we've heard,
There's no trees about.
it sounds like 6 people might have caught in the whole match. Just down there, the very last cast, someone about 10 pegs down netted one with 1 minute to go. So he obviously had a late visit, so he could be the 6th angler to catch. We don't know. There hasn't been too many people walking about today, so we don't really know what has been caught, but it looks like it's fished much harder, even harder than what we expected. So I'm going to get some kit packed away, and I'm going to have a walk up there and just watch Andy weigh his fish in, and then I'll get the weight boards and everything and just get a good idea of what's been caught and where. Well, that was disappointing, but that's what it is. We knew what we were up against, but we didn't think it was going to be as bad as this. I haven't seen, I think 10 pegs to my left, there's been a fish caught. All these have blanked. Tommy's gone. So we think there's just the one bream up here, what Andy's caught. So let's at least have a look at what how big his fish is.
Andy Gregg. Not it on.
There, dear. Shame for us all, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate.
Lovely. Let's have a look at it. That's what they look like. There is one in. There's one in. Brilliant. I gather that was your only indication, Andy.
Only bite, yeah.
Yeah.
Only bite.
210.
Brilliant, well done Andy, top job mate. Just a quick one in mate. Brilliant. Nice one, well done Andy. Cheers mate. You can see how low the canal is now. Look at that, how much lower that is. You can actually see the bottom there. And that's why the reservoir is so low. Just because the water level of the canal is down, and that means that it's actually underneath the bridge there. It's actually dry land in between the canal and the actual reservoir. We have just been joined, Mr. Fry.
Jay.
He's actually qualified, haven't you mate? What weight?
£5.1, 2 fish. So I had one with 10 minutes to go, which was I had a smaller one earlier on.
Yeah.
And then Glenn had a 4-pounder.
Right, Glenn Lawrence.
Glenn Lawrence, yeah, Glenn Lawrence had a 4-pounder, and I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have to start coming up again. And then literally 10 minutes to go, and I've had a waggler, and yeah, happy days.
Brilliant, mate.
2 for £5.1. So
bit of a trek for you as well. How far is this for you?
2 hours.
2 hours.
So it's not too bad.
But you put the time in, mate. You did last year, didn't you? To come
Enjoy it. A fantastic match fishing venue, because you're never out of the game here, are you? I mean, that was, I had that one with 10 minutes to go, and there's not many venues you can say you're never out of the game with, like 5-10 minutes to go. So
there's been one fish caught in our zone that's won the zone. He's actually caught 2. How greedy is that? Fantastic. Well done, mate.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Jay.
The whole reason why this reservoir exists is because it's a relief reservoir for the canal network. This is the new bridge that's been put in place, and when I show you that, you can see how low the levels are. They've done a fantastic job with the bridge, as you can see. They did that through lockdown. Great job on that. Obviously you can get your barra through there, but look, you can see how low it is. So normally when that level drops, it uses water from the reservoir to keep these levels topped up. As you can see, that is not happening now due to the water levels, but usually you'd be sat here, usually where those maggots are, that would normally be just on the edge of the water, so you can see how low down it is. But just look at those rocks, for example, there. Never would have known they were like that. So this is where the water normally flows in and out, and it's rumoured that that's where the fish come in and out as well, or be it at night time, because nobody's ever seen them coming in and out, certainly from this bit here. So you can see how low it is. So I mean, when you think it's only 4 feet deep anyway, it's probably down a good 18 inch. That's obviously not helping the fishing at the moment. Well, once again, I've got to say massive well done to Simon Fry for winning the match. Over the moon for you, mate. To Barry as well, who's qualified again at his first go, just like he did last year. And to Andy, obviously, who won our zone with 1 fish. Well done, lads. It'll be great to see you all competing in the final, and hopefully I'm going to be there with you. I have got a few more attempts at this competition and at other competitions, so if you enjoy live matches like this, don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you want to see more live matches, there are some just there for you. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.